How does Python super work with multiple inheritance? How does super work with multiple inheritance? For example, given which parent method of third does super._init_ refer to? Can I choose which runs? I know it has something to do with method resolution order, MRO.
This is detailed with a reasonable amount of detail by Guido himself in his blog post Method Resolution Order, including 2 earlier attempts. In your example, third will call first._init_. Python looks for each attribute in the class's parents as they are listed left to right. In this case, we are looking for _init_. So, if you define, Python will start by looking at first, and, if first doesn't have the attribute, then it will look at second. This situation becomes more complex when inheritance starts crossing paths. For example, if first inherited from second. Read the link above for more details, but, in a nutshell, Python will try to maintain the order in which each class appears on the inheritance list, starting with the child class itself. So, for instance, if you had the row would be fourth, second, third, first, dot. By the way, if Python cannot find a coherent method resolution order, it'll raise an exception, instead of falling back to behavior which might surprise the user. Example of an ambiguous row. Should thirds row be first, second, or second, first? There's no obvious expectation, and Python will raise an error. Why do the examples above lack supercalls? The point of the examples is to show how the row is constructed. They are not intended to print first backslash and second backslash third or whatever. You can, and should, of course, play around with the example, add supercalls, see what happens, and gain a deeper understanding of Python's inheritance model. But my goal here is to keep it simple and show how the row is built. And it is built as I explained.
Your code, and the other answers, are all buggy. They are missing the supercalls in the first 2 classes that are required for cooperative subclassing to work. Better is output. The supercall finds the next method in the row at each step, which is why first and second have to have it too, otherwise execution stops at the end of second._init_. Without the supercalls in first and second, the output is missing second.
I wanted to elaborate the answer by lifeless a bit because when I started reading about how to use super in a multiple inheritance hierarchy in Python, I didn't get it immediately. What you need to understand is that super my class, self._init_, provides the next _init_ method according to the used method resolution ordering, MRO, algorithm in the context of the complete inheritance hierarchy. This last part is crucial to understand. Let's consider the example again. According to this article about method resolution order by Guido van Rossum, the order to resolve _init_ is calculated, before Python 2.3, using a depth first left to right traversal. After removing all duplicates, except for the last one, we get. So, let's follow what happens when we instantiate an instance of the third class, for example x equals third. According to Mro, third._init_ executes. Prints, third column entering, then, super third, self._init_ executes and Mro returns, first._init_, which is called, first._init_ executes. Prints, first column entering, then, super first, self._init_ executes and Mro returns, second._init_, which is called. Second._init_ executes. Prints, second, column entering. Then, super second, self._init_ executes and Mro returns, object._init_, which is called. Object._init_ executes. No print statements in the code there. Execution goes back to second._init_, which then prints, second, column exiting. Execution goes back to first._init_, which then prints, first column exiting. Execution goes back to third._init_, which then prints, third column exiting. This details out why instantiating third results in 2. The Mro algorithm has been improved from Python 2.3 onwards to work well in complex cases, but I guess that using the depth first left to right traversal plus removing duplicates expect for the last still works in most cases. Please comment if this is not the case. Be sure to read the blog post by Guido.
This is known as the diamond problem. The page has an entry on Python, but in short, Python will call the superclasses methods from left to right.